Hi and welcome to the Market Alert for Thursday, the 10th of February 2022. So today's a big day, but yesterday's news is traders buy bonds, stocks, cryptos and commodities ahead of CPI event risk. That's about today, of course. Buy all the things. Yeah, that seems to be the sentiment yesterday. For sure, certainly with the stock market. Here's how big today, of course this is yesterday's headline, new CPI adjustment will be. So I'm not going to read this, but basically the article was alluding to the fact that there will be an adjustment and the figures will come out lower than forecast. So let's have a look at this. This is the one we're talking about today. This is going to affect all of the markets, which is probably why they've been moving higher. They're saying they're going to be an adjustment to the downside. 0.4 is the number there, but we'll have to wait and see at 1:30. Also, speaking of main events, Bailey speaking today at 9:05, so could be some interesting moves in the DAX at this point, and also the British pound 10 a.m. Economic forecasts as well. But like I say, the big one today is the CPI from the US, because that's going to determine the direction of the metals, the dollar, and everything else. If it comes out higher than forecast and lower than forecast, it's going to be a big move in either direction. So let's move along and have a look, and let's just start off with the Dow as we normally do. I'll just find it. Again, yesterday you can see the market moving higher once more, taking out the resistance to the left. And let's just draw in a few fibs here so we can get some sort of idea of where we are. So from here down to the low, we're stuck at 78%. What a surprise. Just trading above it at the moment. Next upside target is 89%. Should the market continue. And then if this 89% is taken out, then we draw from here down to here. And we'll just use these lines that we have pre-drawn in the chart, choosing the previous areas of real support and resistance as the target. So let me remove these lines as we've traded through these. These are the two most important, of course, at the moment, is to stay above the 78% retracement there and keep prices moving to the upside. We're above all averages at the moment as well. 200 is below the 20, the 5 and the 50 as well. So bullish there at the moment. Like I say, that all depends on what comes out. Is it a case that we're just seeing the market being moved back to the upside, ready for the next leg down as inflation continues, and the rate increase prospect is going to still happen on the 16th of March? Who knows? But it could be that there's a bit of a buffer being built in before the market shows some weakness again. 30-minute chart was very interesting yesterday because the market was fairly sideways and then moved to the upside and then sideways, and then just at the close, as you'll see here, this bar is that one there is just at 9 o'clock. This is the last half an hour, and then after, the market continued to move to the upside as well between 21 and 21.30. Big move there. Overnight prices dropped back down to the DP level, oversold. Crossover in stochastics. We've got demand in the markets as well as we approach this area. Close above the 5-bar moving average, parabolic turns green, and the market moves and heads towards the close. And again, if I was in this market, which I'm not because it was very early hours of the morning, you will see the market trading to 62% there at the moment, and finding a bit of resistance. That close also ties in, the 62% retracement also ties in with yesterday's close as well, which is just hidden behind that 78% there. So need to get through there as well. So in the German DAX for yesterday, let me just grab it for you. It's in here somewhere. There's a lot of charts to look at today. So in the daily of the DAX, you can see also trading through 62% yesterday, which I've removed from the chart when it went through. Also just getting back through the 20-bar moving average as well, and the 5 closing above both of these. But again, in the way, just as with the Dow, we've got 78% retracement. The difference here is we're actually not above the 200 MA or the 50 EMA in the German DAX daily at the moment, so a bit of resistance there. Nice correction in this market recently, which we've seen, and just an attempt to move up. We're still oversold in the daily chart of the German DAX, so a bit of room to the upside for this one. In the 30-minute chart, a very similar picture overnight, where we saw the market trade down to the DP, again oversold. Crossover in stochastics, 50 EMA as well, BRN as well. We've got the BRN there with the support, so all that tying in, and demand coming into the market as well, albeit tiny. Nonetheless, it's still demand. It shows that there was some activity, but trading back to yesterday's high as opposed to the Dow, which only managed to get to yesterday's close. So a bit of strength there on the overnight. I mean, it's not even time for the futures market to open yet. It's 35 minutes before it does. And you can already see that the market has put on 100 points between the two BRNs there, the blue lines. In fact, let me just make those a bit darker, because a bit difficult to see in this time frame at the moment. There you go. So there you can see that 100-point move already taken care of. That's before the futures market opens. And yesterday afternoon, the market just moving straight up, and only one red bar in the morning session as the market came back and sat on the R2, and then soon switched and continued to move to the upside, and then followed through as well. Big move yesterday, as seen in the daily chart. You can see it there. But at the moment, it's got to take out yesterday's high, which we're trading at the moment, which you've just seen, and up to the 78 and 89. Certainly 89 if it's to get through all of say both of the averages there as well. In yesterday's 5-minute chart, just have a look at this. Again, you'll see the market off from the start, oversold in the morning, demand, and then we kicked off. We had a crossover in the stochastics through all of the averages and straight up, and that was it. We had some divergence there, but the market continued to trade sideways, then moved back to the upside and retested. And then inside of here, this bit here, we were overbought. I did the short down to here, hung on to it, and it came all the way back and took me out at break even. And that's because I ignored what I was seeing. Trying to be clever and have an opinion, thinking, well, the market will continue to move down, and of course it didn't. So you've got to trade what you see and not have an opinion about what you think the market's going to do, because if you look at the daily chart recently, of course, we've seen some sharp moves to the downside. So yours truly was thinking, well, I know the market better than the market, and it was a shame really, because it was a good move down to here, and it was just screaming that it wasn't going to go any lower. We traded down to the R2. We've got everything else in place that we would normally have at these levels as well. BRN at the psychological level, market trade sideways. We've got support from the previous left in the chart, and then it was a lovely trade back to the upside, which I missed, like I say, because I had an opinion. You can't have an opinion. You've got to trade what it is that you actually see. But overnight, again, in the 5-minute chart, you'll see that the market was sideways to higher. And then as we opened up overnight, we traded all the way down to the DP. Market really quiet here. But then all of a sudden, in the last hour or so, let's just have a look at the time. 5:45. That doesn't seem right. Oh, it does, yeah. 5:30, yeah. Yeah, 5:30, the market's just taken off to the upside, trading to the previous day's high. And in the metals, this is where it's going to be interesting today. Silver has been allowed to move to the upside for the last few days, and we've certainly got a day for metals activity with the inflation figures out at 130. If they come out higher, it should be bullish for the metals, but it depends what the bankers want to do, doesn't it? We're 50% back from the high to this low. and we're just above the 20 bar moving average, but yesterday was a tiny range for silver. What was interesting though, let me just make a bit more space so you can see it. We did have the obligatory London fix sent the market lower, and then they immediately brought the market back. Then they put some demand in, and then in the afternoon they moved the market to the upside. We became oversold, we've got supply, and then we drifted back down again to the DP like the stock markets have overnight. And the market moving back up at the moment from an oversold condition with the stochastics crossing there. We've only got about a 50% retracement in this, haven't we? If we from here to here, yeah, 62 is where we are, 62%. But I don't expect the market to do a lot as far as metals are concerned until we get those figures. Gold's been moving up as well, and like I say, if the inflation rate comes out lower, they're going to slam gold and silver, and the dollar also will be interesting as well. If it does come out higher, then it's bullish for the dollar, negative for the silver market, but they will, which seems a bit of a contradiction. But because of the manipulation in the metals markets, even if it comes out lower, there will be a relief that there's no inflation, or inflation's move lower, which is complete BS. We know that because even the chairman of Tesco's come out and said for the next few months they expect 5 to 10% increase in all food costs. So again, we know it's nonsense, but because silver and gold is a hedge against inflation, then the fact that even adjusting the figures, making it look like there's no inflation, then that will send the metals lower. And also the dollar, because the dollar wants to see a rate increase, which will be bullish for this. So it will be interesting at 1:30 to see how they actually play all of this. Meanwhile, in the crude oil market, still sideways to low, a bit of a pullback there this week as the rumblings of Russia, Ukraine have slightly gone off the boil, although this morning when I looked at the mainstream news websites, there was some sort of banging a bit from Boris about NATO joining forces, etc. We'll have to wait and see. I've started to add a few more markets as well because there are so many opportunities around. Looking at the Gbp Jpy, this has been moving up nicely from an oversold condition in the daily chart, and yesterday even in the 5-minute chart there was plenty of opportunities. I'll just bring this back so you can see it as the market traded from the start yesterday morning. Just a bit further back, there we go, we were oversold, and again we've got the demand, we've got the pullback, we're at the DP, and then we move to the upside and settle here. We then become oversold again, crossover in stochastics, demand, and move up until we get supply coming into the markets here, and then we get a double top retracement, market trading back again. We were overbought and we had divergence as well as the market attempted to move higher. I can go through every chart in every market and show you exactly the same pattern, but overnight again you can see here how the market's coming off a divergent move there, and prices turning back to green with some buying coming through the 200 MA and moving to the upside just through the DP, and that's because the daily chart is bullish for the Gbp Jpy. I've also started adding back in the, if I've actually done it, Gbp as well. Got the pound in here as well. This also in the daily chart, background of the market, oversold, nice move back on this. But at the moment, waiting for Bailey to speak, I suspect. From today, you can see the market trading back to 62% there before finding a bit of a problem yesterday. There you go. You can see now between 62 and 78. Again, same thing, just in the overbought area here. And again, this is going to wait to see what Bailey has to say for today regarding his announcement at 9:05. Yesterday on the pound now, 30-minute chart, we had a shakeout to the DP level. You can see this here. and then we move the market up. We got once we're overbought, you can see the 89% retracement there, and then back down. So at the moment, you guys, I've just said, you can see that the market is waiting to see what Bailey's got to say at 9:05. But again, there is no shortage of markets to actually trade. And in fact, you've got to be careful you don't have too many, which is why my main focus is the German DAX, and my positional trades that I've had on for nearly 2 years now are in the silver market. But I do like and fancy some of these currencies as well from a longer term perspective in the daily chart, because you get some really nice overbought and oversold conditions, as you can see here, just how it follows a very nice pattern there. And I think that's it for today. Let's see what happens. As I say, we've got a big day. We've got Bailey at 9:05, and the main event of the day is the CPI number. So the market could be quietish this morning, but saying that, it's moved up 100 points already. Maybe that's building in a buffer for 130. Okay, that's it from me for today. As ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.